Hi everyone, my name's Chloe Joyner and I'm the founder of Usher Kids UK. I'm sorry that I can't be there with you. It was a tempting idea to think I could maybe join you, but it's just not possible this time. So I'm hoping in this short video I can give you a brief introduction to why I set up Usher Kids UK, how we work, and I guess the main purpose that I see for an organisation like this. My own personal background and connection to Usher syndrome is that my daughter, who's now 9 years old, has Usher syndrome type 1B, which we found out when she was 18 months old. Like many families living with Usher syndrome, actually our journey began when she was very tiny and 2 weeks old, and we found out she was profoundly deaf. As a hearing family, this really marked the beginning of our learning journey, and it was pretty steep. We had to really quickly get our heads around what the implications of profound hearing loss would be for her and how we could best support her as a family. But it really felt like there were lots of practical things we could do. So as kind of overwhelmed as we were, we also felt quite empowered to take steps to support her. And so we threw ourselves into that, and it gave us an outlet, I guess, for our own emotional response to the diagnosis. She was very unbalanced and, was late to sit and walk and stand. And as a result, questions were asked fairly early on when she was around 6 months as to whether there could be another reason for her deafness, which meant that by the time she was 18 months, we were referred for various tests, one of which was an ERG. Electroretinogram. And at that point in the ophthalmology clinic, we were told when she was 18 months that she had Usher syndrome. So another diagnosis, we should be good at this. But no, this one felt very different. Once again, we were kind of laid flat, trying to think, how do we deal with this? But this time, instead of feeling like we had a role to play, we just felt fear and disconnected from any avenues of support really that understood the specific challenges we felt we faced. So it felt harder, and quite quickly I reached out to any areas of support that existed, and one of those at that time was the Usher Syndrome Coalition in America. And really I would cite the beginning of my own process of becoming more comfortable with the diagnosis and having my feet on the ground is the moment that I first heard the voice of another parent on the phone who had a child with the same condition. And from that moment onwards, really, I've felt much more, much stronger, much more able to envisage the path ahead, and much more able to kind of let go of some of my fears, because I know that there are other families experiencing the same worries, challenges, and that I have places to go to where I can turn to people who understand my concerns, and maybe together we can work out what to do about them. So from that point onwards, I guess it became clear to me that there wasn't enough support for the kind of challenges we were facing. I also remember hearing a couple of statistics which really concerned me once I began listening to the experiences of the adult community of people living with Usher syndrome. Statistics around unemployment levels, and actually these being as high as 80% within the adult community. I was hearing this and looking at my daughter, who was so abundantly full of life, she needed full employment. So I just could not compute that she would transition to a community in which unemployment was by far the norm. Also statistics around mental health issues and the level of isolation that people were living with that was driving them to feel incredibly low about themselves. And again, I was looking at a young child who was vibrant and, seemed so connected to other people. Again, it just felt unimaginable for me to, envisage her future as part of a community in which there were so many issues that were unaddressed. So it became clear to me that if I didn't accept this for my own daughter, then I didn't accept it for any child living with Usher syndrome. And inevitably, Usher Kids UK was born, having met with Emily and Holly at a coalition conference in America, and really recognising like-minded parents that felt strongly that more needed to be done for this community. So I'd say the aim and the purpose of Usher Kids UK is really to provide a voice for the needs of our community. There's fantastic support available for the individual needs that we're all juggling, perhaps in the hearing world, or perhaps just thinking about the vision challenges. But in terms of bodies which actually understand and provide for the dual sensory challenges and the impact of that overlap, and also the unique nature of this progressive loss, which means that it's not a one-time adjustment, it's actually constant, and that those challenges are coming in waves, and that each individual and each family needs to adapt and reach out for support at every stage. So really, I'm hoping that we can provide a voice which articulates the needs, the specific needs of our community, and champions those needs wherever that needs to happen, so that our children go forward and perhaps we can change those statistics. Some of the projects that I'm working on at the moment with Usher Kids UK is the development of some resources for teachers and teaching assistants that are working with children in their schools, nurseries, and giving them a chance to think about and to see what good practice looks like in supporting those children. Also resources for children to be able to use to tell perhaps their peer group or their teachers what a bit more information about Usher syndrome, and help them, give them a platform to start to think about what support works for them. And hopefully in doing so, giving them a chance to take more ownership of describing the support that helps them, and in doing so perhaps feeling more empowered. Also, another project is thinking about the support available for the emotional needs of our children and our families, and both in terms of practical support for family to understand how they can help their children to develop the resilience they need to adapt and to stand up to the challenges they face, but also for mental health services which are available or need to be available for families should they encounter difficulties along the way at different stages. Finally, also working on a project around mentoring and perhaps training for young adults with Usher syndrome to become mentors for younger people within our community, so that they can work together on specific challenges and help develop a sense of agency in the younger person in addressing or living with those challenges. I'm really excited to work with any organisation, and in fact have always sought to collaborate, because I think as a rare patient community it's essential for us to recognise that we're stronger when we're working together. Likewise, I think it's also important for me to be clear about the purpose of Usher Kids UK. I don't want to duplicate efforts of research bodies. We all live in hope that the future might be different as a result of scientific developments, and I don't want to muddy the waters and detract from the work that those organisations are doing. So Usher Kids UK will happily direct people to other organisations where research is their main focus, but really I see our role as providing support for the here and now for families, and also providing a conduit by which professionals that are working with families with Usher syndrome or with children with Usher syndrome are able to access our community and learn from it. This year was very exciting for us. We held our first ever family event and had over 100 people, siblings, children living with Usher syndrome and their families, coming together for a day of networking and support, listening to wonderful speakers who understand the challenges they're facing, and beginning to allow us to find our collective voice. And I'm really excited about what lies ahead now that I have a sense of the shared needs of our community. And I'm also very driven to reach out to represent those people perhaps for whom there may be barriers for them attending events like that or accessing the support that they need. So there's lots of exciting things in the pipeline for Usher Kids, but I hope that it treads the same fine line that I try to as a parent, which is being strong enough to meet the here and now needs of my daughter, while also retaining hope and playing a role in trying to make sure that the future could be different for her. I hope that gives you some insight, and I really hope that you have a fantastic event. I know how powerful it can be when we share experiences and meet with each other. So whilst I'm not there in person, I'm very much there in spirit. Thank you.